Catherine is one of the most elegant names in the Western world. Queens have worn it. Saints have died for it. Empresses have conquered continents under it. But Catherine did not begin in a palace or a church. It began in ancient Greece, buried inside a word that described something so pure, so untouchable, so fundamentally clean that the Greeks considered it almost divine. And the empire that carried that word across the ancient world gave Western civilization its language, its philosophy, and its understanding of what it meant to be human. Catherine begins in ancient Greek as Aikaterine. The most widely accepted derivation connects it to the Greek word katharos, meaning pure, clean, completely without contamination. The same root that gives us the English word catharsis. The purging, the cleansing, the release of everything impure until only the essential remains. Katharos was not a casual word. Purity in Greek philosophical tradition was a moral and spiritual state. The condition of something refined until no imperfection remained. Philosophers used it to describe the highest state of the soul. Priests used it to describe the condition required for approaching the divine. So Ekaterine was not simply a pretty sound. It was a declaration. This person is pure. This person has been brought to their essential nature without compromise. From Ekaterine, the name passed into Latin as Catriona. From Latin, it spread across every European language as Christianity carried it outward. Catherine in English, Catherine in French, Catriona in Italian and Spanish, Ekaterina in Russian, Catriona in Irish, Catriona in Scottish Gaelic. Every form, Kate, Katie, Katja, Trina, is the same ancient Greek philosophical concept wearing different linguistic coati. Between approximately 800 BCE and 146 BCE, Greek culture produced the intellectual foundation of almost everything the modern Western world considers civilization: democracy, philosophy, mathematics, medicine, theater, the concept of the individual citizen with rights and responsibilities. Greek wasn't just a language. It was the language of educated people across the ancient Mediterranean, the way English is for the modern world. When Alexander the Great's army swept from Greece through Persia, Egypt, and into India between 336 and 323 BCE, they carried Greek language and naming conventions into every territory they touched. The period that followed, the Hellenistic Age, saw Greek culture spread across an enormous geographic range, from Macedonia to Egypt, from Anatolia to Afghanistan. The educated classes of the entire Eastern Mediterranean spoke Greek, read Greek, and named their children Greek names. When Christianity emerged in the 1st century CE, in a region saturated with Greek language, it inherited Greek as its primary written language. The New Testament was written in Greek. The early church fathers wrote in Greek, and the names of the faith's earliest martyrs were Greek names, including the name that became Catherine. The name Aikaterine became Catherine through one specific woman, Saint Catherine of Alexandria. According to Christian tradition, Catherine was an Egyptian noblewoman and scholar living in Alexandria in the early 4th century CE, the intellectual capital of the ancient world, home to the Great Library. Catherine had studied every philosopher available to her, converted to Christianity after a vision, and publicly debated 50 pagan philosophers sent by the Emperor Maxentius to argue her back out of it. She won. The 50 philosophers converted to Christianity on the spot. Maxentius had them all executed. He then tried to break Catherine on a spiked wheel, the torture device that became her symbol, still visible in medieval art across Europe. The wheel shattered at her touch. According to tradition, she was subsequently beheaded. Catherine of Alexandria became one of the most venerated saints in the medieval Catholic Church. Listed among the 14 holy helpers, considered particularly powerful intercessors in times of crisis. Her feast day on the 25th of November, Catherine's Day, was one of the most widely celebrated dates in the medieval calendar, generating its own folk traditions entirely separate from formal church observance. This is how a Greek name born in Alexandria became one of the most common female names in medieval Europe. Not through royalty first, through a woman who chose death over intellectual compromise, and whose story resonated so powerfully across so many centuries that her name became permanently embedded in the Western naming tradition. Saint Catherine made the name sacred. The queens who followed made it synonymous with power. Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of Henry VIII, was the daughter of Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. Her marriage to Henry began as a model of Renaissance royal partnership and ended in a divorce so politically explosive it triggered the English Reformation, broke England from the Roman Catholic Church, and produced consequences still visible in British life today. Catherine refused the divorce. She refused to step aside. She held her position through years of isolation and deliberate cruelty, maintaining her dignity until her death. Catherine de' Medici governed France as regent for 3 of her sons across 30 years of the most violent religious conflict in French history. The wars of religion between Catholics and Huguenot Protestants killed hundreds of thousands. Catherine navigated the violence with political pragmatism and personal resilience that kept the French crown functioning through chaos that would have destroyed a less determined ruler. Catherine the Great of Russia, born Sophie of Anhalt-Zerbst in 1729, became empress after orchestrating the overthrow of her own husband and ruled for 34 years. She expanded Russian territory by over 500,000 square kilometers, corresponded with Voltaire and Diderot, founded the Hermitage Museum, and was by almost any measure the most powerful woman in the world during her reign. She chose the name Catherine at her conversion to Russian Orthodoxy as a deliberate statement of the identity she intended to inhabit. 3 Catherines, 3 political crises, 3 women who refused to step back. The name kept finding them, or they kept finding it. The specific form of Catherine in your family tells you which channel brought it there. Caitríona in Irish entered Gaelic culture through the medieval Catholic Church and became so embedded that it is now considered one of the most distinctively Irish female names despite its Greek origin. An Irish Catriona before 1800 is almost certainly saint's cult naming. The veneration of Catherine of Alexandria was strong in medieval Ireland and survived the Reformation without losing ground. Catriona in Scottish Gaelic, made internationally famous by Robert Louis Stevenson's 1893 novel, carries the same Catholic origin filtered through the Highland phonetic system, producing a sound distinct enough from English Catherine that most people never connect the two. Ekaterina in Russian and Eastern European families points to the Byzantine Orthodox tradition, the name entering Slavic culture through the Eastern Church rather than the Roman Catholic West. The same ancient Greek origin, traveling a completely different ecclesiastical pathway. Plain English. Catherine or Catherine in British families before the Reformation is medieval saints' cult naming. The veneration of Catherine of Alexandria was strong enough in England that the name was among the most common female names in the country by the 14th century. 2 centuries before any royal association reinforced it. 2,000 years ago, Greek philosophers used katharos to describe the highest state anything could reach. So refined, so essential, so completely itself that nothing impure remained. Somebody took that concept and built a name from it. That name survived the fall of the Greek Empire, the rise of Rome, 15 centuries of saint veneration, the Reformation, and the courts of queens and empresses who wore it as if born to nothing else, arriving here in the name on your birth certificate, still carrying every ounce of what the ancient Greeks meant when they reached for the word pure Subscribe. See ya.